After shooting her mouth off, Dr. Gorka puts Hillary Clinton in her place. Adam Casalino, Politics US News, madworldnews.com. News is heating up of an impending investigation into Hillary Clinton's role in Uranium One scandal. Crooked Hillary has emerged from her liar to try to dismiss the rumors, making pathetic accusations towards our leaders. However, President Donald Trump's ally, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, shut her down with a single sentence. As Mueller's investigation into possible Russian interference in the 2016 election goes nowhere, eyes are turning to the real sources of Russia collusion, the Democrats. In recent weeks, word has come out that while Congress was deciding on a deal that would provide 20% of U.S. uranium production to Russia, the FBI was investigating Russian agents who were bribing U.S. officials. Meanwhile, then President Barack Obama hushed up the FBI so Congress would approve the deal. All roads led to Hillary Clinton, who was the Secretary of State at the time. Was Russia bribing Hillary in order to seal the deal? That's what many people believe, which is why an investigation should be conducted. Clinton, desperately losing ground among her own, spoke to Mother Jones, hoping to deflect. Hillary said, "I regret deeply that this appears to be the politicization of the Justice Department and our justice system." Really? This Uranium One story has been debunked countless times by members of the press, by independent experts. She continued that it is personally offensive that they would do this, but taking myself out of it, this is such an abuse of power, and it goes right at the rule of law. Source, Breitbart. Wow, the woman never learns. She dares call legitimate investigations a politicization of the Justice Department? What do you think was going on during the entire Obama administration? The DOJ did nothing to pursue political schemes for Obama. They even interfered with an FBI investigation into Hillary's email server to protect her during the election. That's the definition of politicization. Yet Hillary has the audacity to call this a real potential criminal investigation politicizing. She also tried to call an investigation into her past with Russian abuse of power. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, former deputy assistant to President Trump, had something to say about Hillary's little soundbite while discussing the interview on Fox News. He set the record straight. It's only an abuse of power if she thinks that having the last name Clinton means she's above the law, Gorka declared, according to Fox News. Oh, this is long.
This Uranium One story has been debunked countless times. This is such an abuse of power, and it goes right at the rule of law.
All right,
I can't even hear this.
Speaking
to Mother Jones, let's bring in Dr. Sebastian Gorka, Fox News contributor, former deputy assistant to the President of the United States. He's also the author of a book, Defeating Jihad, seen right there. Dr. Gorka, Hillary Clinton said yesterday that if the Department of Justice comes after me, that is an abuse of power if they were going to appoint a special counsel. What say you about that?
It's only an abuse of power if she thinks that having the last name Clinton means that she's above the law. She isn't. We have a clear case here of pay for play. Not only do we know the FBI was investigating the Russian corruption in America, bribing people involved with the deal for uranium, we know that she was the chairman of the committee that had to approve that sale, and at the same time that she had to approve the sale of 20% of our uranium to Russia, Steve, to Russia, Her foundation received $145 million, and her husband received $500,000 for one speech that he gave from the same people that were buying the uranium.
Dr. Gorka, we just had on the confidential informant for the FBI's attorney, and she said that he was telling his FBI handlers who he was bribing and stuff like that, and the FBI told him that the director of the FBI knew about it, and so did the President of the United States before this deal went through.
Not only that, Steve, the then Attorney General, Obama's Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, threatened, we have the email, threatened that FBI informant that if you don't shut up, if you don't keep quiet about everything you know, we will put you in prison. She threatened him. That's how out of control the last administration and the Clinton crime cartel was, and now we need to have it investigated to the absolute ends of this trail.
Dr. Gorka, one of the co-founders of Fusion GPS, his name is Glenn Simpson. He had a 7-hour closed-door session before the House Intel Committee, and he told them he never verified what was in that dirty dossier before he peddled it to reporters. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the story that just keeps on giving. So we've got this massive national security scandal, probably the biggest one since the end of the Cold War. 20% of our uranium sold to the Russians with Clinton's acquiescence. And now we've got this dodgy dossier. We now know that this dossier was built upon Russian propaganda, fake sources. It was used to besmirch the Trump campaign. And here's the big thing, Ainsley, that dossier was also paid for by the FBI. The Clinton campaign, the DNC, paid $12 million for it. And then Robert Mueller briefs it to President Trump, leaks that briefing to his buddies in the media.
You mean James Comey?
Sorry, James Comey. Briefs that to the president, leaks the briefing, so what happens? We get a special counsel, his buddy, Robert Mueller, to investigate the president for collusion. This is like something out of a Tom Clancy novel, but it isn't. It's real life and it's corruption.
We got to see this dossier and where it's going. There's a book coming out. Chris Steele says he says it'll show that 70 to 90% of what's in the dossier is true. He said he was shocked by what is in it. But Mike Conaway said yesterday in the Glenn Simpson closed-door testimony that there were things that Simpson refused to answer because it was based on a confidentiality agreement with his client, and because it was a voluntary basis, we could not push the issue. So that's where it stands right now. To get to the bottom of the dossier, we're still waiting, I guess, for Robert Mueller, because he's got the power to get the answers.
And there's a really big question. Additionally, Brian, how many other propaganda materials were salted across the left-wing media by Fusion GPS? This isn't the only case. We know they have relationships with lots of journalists. How much fake news out there attacking the president came from Fusion GPS is another question.
And apparently Mr. Simpson also revealed to the congressional investigators that he was unhappy with the fact that the FBI did what they did with Hillary's email server, and that's why he was pushing back. Meanwhile, yesterday the President of the United States took to the airwaves to talk about the big five-nation Asian swing. What's your headline from his trip?
The headline is absolute success. I know the guys that planned the trip. The Asia team at the National Security Council is one of the best teams we have at the White House. They had one very simple mission: to reassure our friends, to reassure people like Japan, to reassure our allies and our partners, and to make sure that China understands American leadership is back. No more apology tours, no more saying we're the problem, America's the problem. Donald J. Trump is the new sheriff, and we will reinvigorate our relationships, and we're not going to take the kind of behavior we've seen with China now under this administration.
So, Dr. Gorka, I'm going to put you in an awkward spot, but I know you're going to give me an honest opinion. Do you think the administration would be better if Attorney General Sessions became Senator Sessions again? They were able to plug somebody else into the Attorney General position?
That's a great question, Brian. Look, Jeff Sessions is an honorable man. He seems to be struggling with getting a grip on this incredibly politicized department that the Obamas turned into this weapon, the political weapon. DOJ became a partisan weapon. But with regards to Alabama, you know what? I want to get to the bottom of this story. I want to find out if Judge Moore did what he did, because in this country we have a presumption of innocence. If these accusations are true, these women deserve justice, but in this country we have to see the evidence, and this individual must actually be given the presumption of innocence. So right now, I don't want to make decisions or encourage people to make decisions that remove that presumption of innocence.
I see,
especially
there's some credible stories of him calling high schools, pulling high school kids out of trigonometry class. I'm starting to see an avalanche.
Look, Brian, after the last 10 months, after the smears I've gone through, they attacked my teenage son in the left-wing media. They attacked my dead mother's reputation. After what they've done to the president, to his 10-year-old son, we're living in this crazy world of smear factories. Let's get to the bottom of it.
We only got till December 12th.
Right, we do.
All right.
I totally agree with Gorka, Sebastian Gorka, and look at Hillary, the arrogance, you know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.